Ba-ba-da-da. Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
How's it going?
I hope it's going well. So, Fez and I are on our own tonight because Pixie's on a date.
Yeah, with Jesus.
Yeah, we're just going to nickname him Jesus. That's just what it is. So we decided that tonight was going to be the night of bad decisions.
Yep.
So we have weed, and we have Keystone, and we have Fireball, and we have a cat, and we have another cat that's off being a bitch somewhere, and we've got The Office.
Yes. Love The Office.
So we are going to play The Office drinking game. And we've been actually having some really good spiritual conversations that we wanted to let you all in on.
Yes.
So, like, we were talking about how my generation, because I am in a different generation than both Pixie and Fez, fucked up love for their generation. Because I feel like our generation is bitter as shit. Because, like, we don't know how to trust. Because our parents fucked up everything for us. And so how the fuck are we supposed to trust anything when we can't even trust our parents because their generation fucked up everything for us? So Pixie and Fez's generation is overcompensating in love.
Yeah. And we fall in love way too easy.
Which is like, oh no. We waited too long. But, sorry, the Xbox One just turned off, so The Office will have to be turned back on here when we're done with this podcast.
Yeah. Anyway,
so we were talking about that. And just like how weird things are. Like today, I don't know.
With Lonely Boy, we had this conversation with Lonely Boy.
And Lonely Boy feels like the generation before ours fucked up love far more than our generation did.
Yeah, our parents.
So I don't know. Like, I can see his point of view with it, but I feel like it was almost a trickle-down effect. Like, because their generation was so fucked up, like, my generation was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
And you guys are kind of like, well, you guys are kind of making things better. I don't know. I want us to, like, be the generation of fucking change. You guys are kind of like... As Fez is fucking Snapchatting. I don't know. You guys are kind of like... Oh my god.
I should make a Snapchat for us, but...
That was work.
Yeah, lots and lots of work and thinking.
Would you guys, like, follow a Snapchat if we did one? Like, I guess you could, like, comment on our Facebook page if you actually listen, if you want us to do a Snapchat.
And I know some of you already have Snapchat with us.
Like, our personal Snapchats, but, like, if we did, like, a Pineapple Express Snapchat.
Yes or no?
Yes or no. Like, let us know, I guess, because people listen, right?
Yep.
So...
Oh yeah, and we were talking about love, and then we started talking about paranormal stuff.
And apparently my Lonely Boy does not believe in paranormal shit.
And he thinks it's like when we're high or drunk, and we just told him that it happened even before we ever known what alcohol or weed was.
Yeah.
Like, I was in kindergarten, 1st grade, 3rd grade when all of this stuff happened to me.
Yeah, and, like, I didn't smoke pot till I was 18, so, like, one of my earliest, like, super scary memories was when I was, like, 13 years old. So, like, you know, and I remember being a kid, too, and, like, there was a ghost in my house that would, like, play the piano.
Mm-hmm. And my mom and I know that we had a spiritual connection. Like, she adopted me when we weren't blood, but
No.
at the same time, like, when I had that bond with her, we had a huge, scary spiritual connection with each other. Like, there's this one year where, okay, so I was a junior and I go to school, I wake up while I go to school and study hall comes around, which is like at 11. I was thinking about funeral cake, which is coffee cake.
Okay, yeah.
And, well, yeah, my parents called it funeral cake.
Because it's what you make when you take to funerals, like funeral potatoes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was craving that because, like, I love it. And so I get home and my mom made like 3 of them. And I was like, hey, you made funeral cake? I was like, I was craving that all day. And she was like, oh yeah, I was craving it too and I had the urge to make it. She was like, yeah, I made 3 of them, so, like, we can eat one and save the rest for later. An hour later after that, we get a call from our family friends, because, like, they used to babysit my siblings. And so, like, we'd go over every Christmas, every year after.
Yeah.
And spend Christmas with them, because they were our family.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, they're the guy who, his mother died. Sweet old lady.
Yeah.
Like, she knew I wasn't part of their family, so she would give me a present.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
And she passed away.
Oh no.
And then not even a day later, Christy, who used to babysit my older sisters, her grandma broke her hip, and then they found out that she had cancer, and she passed away.
Oh my gosh. So 3 cakes, 1 free. Oh, that's weird.
It was very weird. And 1 year, my parents, they went to they were gonna fly to California to get a car because they bought from a lady there, and they were just gonna drive up to Vegas and vacation there, and then drive up
to home.
And yeah. Okay, so the one day I had a real bad feeling, like I was a younger kid, I had anxiety, so like stuff like that, it made me puke and I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
So I was doing that all day. And that night, that day, my mom was like, Norm, she was like, I have this bad feeling, like something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah.
He was like, nothing's gonna happen, don't worry, we're gonna get there, we're gonna go on the plane and we'll be good.
Yeah.
She was like, no, but I just have this bad feeling that something's gonna happen. Well, she sleeps, they get to Omaha and they sleep at my adopted sister's house for a couple of hours, and then she was gonna drive them there. Well, on the way there, my mom was sleeping in the back seat and my dad was in the passenger seat and my sister was driving, and they were on the interstate going to the airport, and they got in a car wreck because this guy decided something happened, and so they like wrecked and they flipped the car.
Oh shit.
And yeah, the guy just drove off.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
And, like, I told my mom, like, all these bad feelings I had, and deja vu happens all the time. Like, all the time, and I told her, like, one year I was like, I might have had a dream that we were bowling somewhere. Because, like, someone had, like, a strike.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. And then, like, not even a month later, we came here, actually, for Thanksgiving. We went bowling at Kings Lane.
Yeah.
And I remember that, and I told her that night what just happened. She was like, really?
That's weird. When I was a kid, my mom's ex-best friend's husband passed away from cancer. And before he passed away, he promised her that he would send her a shooting star when he went to heaven. So she kept waiting and she kept waiting and she kept like finding shooting stars, but she was like, that's not right. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was moving. She was living in Florida and she was moving to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And she calls my mom up on a tizzy, and my mom's like, what's going on? What's going on? And she goes, I picked my carpet for the house because she was redoing some stuff in the house so it would have a better value.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, guess what the name of the carpet was? And the name of the carpet was Shooting Star.
Yeah.
And she was like, that was my sign. That was it right there. Well, after her husband had passed away, we were at the funeral, and she had like a bush, and you would go and put roses on the bush, and then we scattered the ashes over the golf course because that's what he wanted. And there was a fire in my neighborhood, and it got up to where that area was. Everything around the bush was burnt. The bush was still green and blooming. Yeah. So, people that don't think that shit's real, like, that's the only reason that I know there's some kind of, like, if we're not reincarnated, there's some kind of afterlife.
Yeah. I know there is. Because, I was in kindergarten when this happened. I didn't go to school till in the afternoon. It was like at 1.
Mm-hmm.
So like that morning, I was playing in the backyard, and this little girl comes out, and she's wearing this white dress and everything, and she had long curls. And we were playing and stuff like that, and then I asked her if she wanted, I asked her what her name was, and she said Zelly. And so like we just kept playing for like an hour or two. So I go in and ask, before that I asked her if she wanted a snack, and she was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll be right back, just keep playing. And so I go in and I tell my mom that I wanted a snack, and she give me one. So I was like, no, I need another one for my friend Zelly. She's like, oh, who is she? Does she go to school with you? I was like, no, she just came back. And my mom was like, what's her name again? She was like, Zelly. And so my mom was like, okay, well, let me just come back there with you so I can meet her. So she wasn't a weirdo.
Making sure she's not a creeper,
Especially in our town, because it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she comes out, and she wasn't there. And my mom was like, where is she? I was like, she was playing with my toys. And she was like, do you want me? We were calling her name, and she was like, what's your name? And I was like, Zelly. And so we like look around our house and nothing. And so my mom just thought it was weird that I had a weird friend named Zelly. And so she picked out like 2 pictures, like one from my grandma Zelda was her name. No, Zelfa.
Yeah.
Zelfa. One when she was like younger and one when she was older. And so I like picked the one where she was younger, and in the picture she had the white dress and hair.
Yeah.
And she told me that story when I was younger, because we had that conversation one time.
One of my old best friends back when I was going to college, they had this house that their kids, their son, fucking cutest thing in the world. I need pictures of him. I haven't seen pictures of him in forever, and I'm sure he's big and huge and handsome, because he was going to be a handsome kid. But their son would like, so she had 2 kids, and their names were C and A.
Yeah.
And one morning A comes downstairs, and he's like, Mom, I'm so scared. There was this man at the end of my bed, and I don't know what to do, and he's gonna hurt me, and da-da-da-da-da. And they hadn't ever said the word ghost. They had never said the word spirit. Nothing. Like, there were no reasons for their kids to know that word. And C looks at A and goes, "Oh, don't worry, he won't hurt you. He's a friendly ghost."